Good morning everybody and welcome to Ravenport. We are here, we are starting from scratch, although we already have a commitment to raise these 20 pigs we have here. We have two fields. We have a field of wheat over here, which is growing. I don't even think the crops are going to be ready today. They seem to be pretty much at the first growth stage. And across the street we have a field of corn. We also own these trees. They're on our land, so we can sell them if we wish to. Here's our field of lovely corn. Primary food for the pigs, of course. So quite a good place to start up a pig farm on this map. I'm actually going to put the mini map on. I'll put it on big just for a moment. You can see where I am, right down in the south in the centre. There's a field of grass as well at the start of the game right here. Field 20, so it might be a good spot for a cow startup. Now, what I did find, and I hope no one's disappointed, I've already put down the pigs and bought some fields. What I have found, the placeable charges are very extravagant, shall we say, compared to what the price in the shop is. So this is a good spot for putting down placeables. You don't have to pay much more than the listed price, well, in comparison to other places to put stuff down here. Although it is, I'm finding it a little bit annoying, Giants, to be honest with you, that it can cost so much to put down something that you kind of need. And I like the farmhouse principle, that you have a spawn point and somewhere you can go to bed and skip nights, but they cost 350,000 basic, and that's not an option here. So we are here. We have $113 cash. We have no equipment, no vehicles, just these 20 pigs. Now obviously at the moment their troughs are empty, they have no water, no straw, no food. They are completely unproductive. Now I'm going to get these up to 100% productivity as I can. I do feel a little bit bad to leave their troughs empty, but that's basically, I think, a hang up from seasons in Farm Sim 17 when they actually die. But they don't here, so we'll be okay. Now we're going to head up to the store. That's going to have to be our first port of call, because I am now officially a farmer right here on this map. Neighbours are building a new house. Reminds me a little bit of State of Decay. We are here. We're going to go up to the shop. We're going to choose ourselves a tractor. We are going to start with the very minimal equipment. We're going to have to buy it all on credit, and the interest rate is quite harsh. We can get up to $500,000 in loan. The interest on that will be about $4,700 a day. So do bear that in mind. That is going to be quite an expense for us, I think, early game. Right, we're up here. Again, I'll put the map on. The edge of town, the gas station, where we will be able to refuel our vehicles. Although I have noticed when you service your vehicles, as we'll see when we need to, that they do seem to get refueled at the same time. Right, here we are, Carlo's Reliable Motors. Now this place, this area, needs a little bit of TLC. There's more trash next to the trash can than there is in it. In fact, there's none in it. Or is this just where the winos hang out? Usually I'd never buy a vehicle from a business that had the word reliable in their name. It would just kind of get my spidey sense tingling. But here we are. So let's have a look, shall we? However, before we can do any shopping or purchasing, we need some money. We're going to need to borrow some. First, let's have a little look at the map screen. Here we are. We're down in the south. We've got a field of corn, field 18 here. And we've got a field of wheat, field 21 here. That's us. That's all we have. That's all we have to start with. I think we'll do fine starting with that. There's some very big fields on here. Field 8 costs $1.2 million. Maybe one day, hey? Who knows? We don't want to buy that, no. Don't think it would let us, would it? Right. We've got the prices screen here to check the market. We'll see how relevant that is to us as we make progress, because the pigs are going to take some feeding. Vehicle overview, we have none. We're on the finances screen. Now, the thing with the loan is you pay your loan interest at midnight based on how much the loan is at midnight. So as long as we remember, we can put this loan up to more than we really need for now. As long as we remember before midnight to pay off the loan as much as we can each day, that will minimise the interest payments. How much that $4,700 a day interest on $500,000 is in relation to the general game economy, I don't actually know yet. Here are our pigs. They're 100% clean, which is fantastic, and they're 0% everything else. But they're fine, don't worry. And we are going to get them some food today by hook or by crook, I can assure you of that. Contracts, we will come back and look at those in a moment. They are the jobs you can do, which has changed quite a lot from 17. I like the way it works, and I like the way it can help you in the early game. In more ways than one. Statistics, we don't really have any yet. The settings, for those of you that are interested, I've got the stop-start braking on because that's how I actually drive in real life. We're doing anything manually in terms of buying, workers buying stuff. None of that's happening. I've turned off autosave because I find it really annoying, and I like to be in control of that. Every bit of the game is switched on, as you can see, so we're playing on maximum difficulty basically, and the general game settings, well, they're all just personal preference. Into the shop, small tractors. Now, I've looked through and I thought about this, and as I said, we're lacking mods, which is obviously an issue at this stage of the game, but we've got what we've got. I can't see why nearly everybody's starting tractor, or one of them, isn't going to be a 500 Favorite right here. It's the cheapest tractor apart from anything else that you can put a front loader attacher on. It also has a front 3-point attacher, which very few of these small cheaper tractors do, which increases its versatility immensely. It can also be tuned up to 150 horsepower, which for the price that's going to cost us, I can't find a tractor that competes with it. If you found anything comparable, please let me know. So we're going to go straight ahead with the Fendt. Now, I am playing with crop destruction on, but I'm going to keep the standard wheels on just for now. We're not going to be going near our fields for a while anyway. We are going to tune it up to 150 horsepower. And we do want it to take front loader attacher. So that's £95,000 spent. Now, there are a few more bits we are going to get our hands on straight away. The pigs are going to need some water, so we shall get one of these, the water tanker. We are going to lease this. Now that to buy is $9,500, which we can ill afford. If we lease it, it's going to cost us $760 to get our hands on it right now, $95 a day. So it would be, what, 100 days to go up to the price of buying it. We're never going to get to the second operating hour because the operating time only ticks while it's hitched. It's only going to be hitched while we're topping up the pigs and we're running over to the water source to fill it. We're never going to leave it hitched at any other time, and we will get away with this for a long, long time. So it's definitely going to save us money in terms of this playthrough. So we're going to lease that. And our first job is going to be to get some water for the pigs. I need to turn the radio off. If only I can find the right one. Radio off. Hope I've not already been copyright struck. There you go. Interior detail is absolutely lovely on all the vehicles that I've tried in this game so far. Definitely a little step up from the previous game. Get the engine started. Digital dashboard seems to be telling us the revs and the speed. Let's get this hitched up. Now, I'm kind of like the way that you get that in the middle of the screen there to tell you what you're about to get hitched to. You can't get that off of the display. it does replace what was a little icon on the screen. Now I'm still finding my way around a little bit. I'm going to go external actually, and we're going to pull away so you can see this map and start taking it in. I like it. There's lots of little detail around it. We've got the restaurant here. This is the front, the public side. And then around the back here is the sell point, which if they're good on prices might be very handy for us. We can cut straight up here. Now I can't do crop destruction on other people's land. I can do it on mine, but I'm not here for grass, so I'm not too concerned. And we're just going to wind our way up to where we can get some water, which is up behind the cornfield. It's the spinnery right here, so it'd be a great place to raise your sheep. You get the grass field at the start of the game right there to buy. Be a great place to put your sheep pen. Not very far to take your wool to sell. Right, back in here, and I'm going to keep doing what I think I need to do to fill it. No, I'm going to need the help window on. Start filling. We are in there. Go on. I don't know, guys, if you want to make a comment, do you want the help windows and mini-maps on? I know some people like to kind of see the controls and the different machinery and what the options are. They're handy for me, I'm not going to deny it sometimes. And the mini-map too, so you can kind of keep track where I am, especially as we're quite unfamiliar with these maps. Bridge up there, the railway goes across there, and I love the fact that the train just goes around the track. It's a nice bit of life to the map. Don't know where we're going to get it go past now. I haven't figured out the timetable. The countryside, I like it. I like the way the place looks and feels. The European map is a little bit crisper and cleaner. I don't know, this has a nice, I don't know, texture to it, I don't know. The trees we are going to make some money out of. These big ones here are worth about 4,300 each in this game mode. There's not many of them around though. There's one there. Oaks aren't worth any kind of special money at all. They were worth about $10,000 each in 15, but that's a long time ago now. This one I really don't know. We'll have to find out. We shall experiment with our trees as required. Right. We should be all full. Go back the official way. And this map as well has lots of these little tracks and ways, I guess, to take your horse or go for a walk, which the European map seems to lack. Well, it's just a long way around, isn't it? Past the building site. And then we'll cut up around here. Absolutely perfect. And then we've got the annual dialogue box I've just driven over. There you go. This is the water. So we'll get them filled with water. The troughs take 10 days worth of what the animals need in this game, I believe. Let's see. It didn't give me a warning there. I did get a warning when I was trying to put straw in on another farm, but it only hold 10 days supply. Now it's just saying no more capacity. Well, that's fine. So we unhitch him. So he's just sitting there. And all we need to do is pop up now and again, top up the pigs, and occasionally run down and refill the tanker at the pool. Right, so we're back at the shop, and we need to go here to the front loader section, and we need to buy this, the arms, and these are the longer versions which fit nicely on our tractor. Also have a longer reach, which can be handy for logging, and we don't need to change the colour. We're going to buy those We're not going to need a pallet fork at this stage. We're really just going to need a bucket. Now I'm going to colour that white, and that's more to do with the fact that I lose track of where I've put them if I don't. So we're going to buy that. And at this stage we're going to buy one more thing, and that is this little trailer here, which again is fantastic for early game, basically because of its versatility. It comes with just a 4,000 litre capacity. You can make it a bale loading wagon which has tension straps, and so you can also put bales and pallets etc on there, and some wood too, no doubt. And that's free. That doesn't cost anything to convert it to that as and when you need. And also in this version of the game there were no charges for customizing vehicles here at the dealers. In 17 you had to pay $1,000 kind of, you know, the labour fee on top of the cost of the customization. Now you don't, so you don't really need to buy a workshop on your farm, and unless it's for convenience. It won't save you that $1,000 anymore. So anyway, but I am actually going to put this up to 12,000 litre capacity, just because I think that's just going to be as big as we're going to need for quite some time, and just save us having to come back and do anything. Wheel setup we absolutely don't need to worry about, and we don't need a cover. So there's $12,000 spent there. And that is basically for right now all we're going to buy. The fields we shall have a look at in a moment. They really are not my priority today, and they don't really need any attention at this stage. My primary concern for them fields is to produce food for the pigs initially, and get the pigs up to 100% productivity as soon as possible. That means I'm prepared to maybe not maximise profit in other ways right now, but we'll see. We don't want to lose out on money we can be making. But I think we're going to need to prioritise. Right, so we can go down here. We can actually cut up here. And here we're at the back of the restaurant. The sell point is right here. And we can use our little cut through, if I fit through, to get back up to where our pigs are. Now there's a reason I've got a trailer as a priority. And obviously it's always going to be useful. We do have fields that will need harvesting sooner or later. But it's also going to be very useful today. I'm just going to drop the bucket and the front loader for now right here. Right, let's just have a look at the map. We're going to check on our field status. Now we looked at the fruit types already. In terms of growth, they're at quite an early stage of growth. I don't know. I think the wheat will be harvested first. I have put the growth speed to normal. It starts off on slow on this mode. Don't let that catch you out. Soil composition. Now here, so we need to turn off some. So basically our field of wheat is not fertilised at all. That's what that's telling me, whereas the field of corn is fully fertilised. None of our fields have weeds, which is fantastic. And field 21 will need ploughing to get its yield back up to 100%. Now when we get to actually replanting the fields and turning them over, we'll look at the field system in terms of ploughing and needing lime as we get to them. So for now what we know is we could fertilise the wheat if we want to increase the yield, but today I'm not going to. I'm just going to let it grow, I think, because we need to go off and start making some money. And the way we're going to make some money is the new contracting system. So let's have a look at that. So here we are. looking for the contract screen. Here it is. There's quite a few jobs on here now available. There are different types. There are harvesting jobs. So here's field 12, harvest the barley in field 12 and take the product to the restaurant. That's a difference in these missions. You don't just go to the field, the equipment's there, you just do the task and hey presto, the mission's over. There are also no time bonuses or from what I've seen restrictions. I haven't seen a kind of a expiry time. So once you've taken a contract, it's down to you to go and do it. Now you can use your own equipment. If I already had a harvester, I basically had the equipment I needed to just go and do this mission. Or alternatively, you can lease the equipment shown on the contract screen and lease it for a very, very reduced rate. So here, it's $1,795 to lease the harvester header, trailer, tractor and trailer. Cost much more if we wanted to lease those as a player, sort of as an individual player. That comes off the offered reward, so you get $5,000 for doing that job. So that's something for you to kind of choose for yourself. You could also even employ workers to do these contracts, and you will still make some money. I did do an experiment right down here. There's a mission. You can cotton mission, $15,400. You get 2 cotton harvesters for this contract. Now I did an experiment. I sent them up to field 4, exactly this mission, and used 2 workers. By the time for leasing the equipment and paying the workers, I still made $8,000 almost, about $7,500 probably. Now you could do that completely in the background while you were doing your farming if you wanted to. Greatly reduced on the potential full reward. It was an hour and a half, so you could spend an hour and a half doing this yourself and get $15,000, or in fact probably about $11,000 because you lease the equipment. Or you could just let 2 workers do it, go off and do something else, and you're still going to make yourself $8,000. It's completely up to you, but that is an option. Anyway, I'm looking for harvesting contracts right now, but the other types are transporting, and I've done a couple. I've done this one. The rewards are so small, I'm not sure if they're worth doing. We will have a look at some stage. We also have baling contracts. This one's to mow a field, bale the grass and take the bales to the barn. So that's quite elaborate. You can't use the equipment you get on these contracts if you do lease it on any other field. I have tried to be cheeky, don't you worry. No, but you can't whiz back to your field with a piece of equipment and use it there and then go and do the contract. That won't work. We've got fertilizing missions, and we'll probably take one of these quite soon. The thing to bear in mind here is that you need to buy the fertilizer, and then before you complete the mission, assuming that you've leased the spreader, you need to empty the fertilizer back out of the spreader into a pallet. It appears as a pallet, partially full, and if you want to, you can then resell that at the shop for full price. I don't think they've patched that out yet. Or you can just save it for your next mission or to use on your fields. Anyway, I'm looking for fertilizing. What we're looking for right now is a fertilizing mission, and I quite like the look of this one right here. It's not a huge reward. It's up at field 17, and you need to take the product to the ranch. That's not very far away, so that will save us some time. And it's soybean, and that's of interest too, and I'll show you why as we're doing the mission. So we're going to click the Y button on the Xbox to lease items. If you just accept the contract, you won't get the equipment. So make sure you press the lease items option. That contract is now active. You can't, because I have tried, stack contracts. You can only have one active contract at a time. I did wonder if you could use the workers to do the contracts, whether you could just like run a subcontractors kind of scheme, but no, the game won't let you, which is fair enough. Right, and now I can switch just as any other vehicle to these machines that I've got as part of this contract. And it is quite a nice way to see the stuff that perhaps on your own farm is going to take a while for you to get your hands on. Now, they've given me a header trailer, which is very polite of them. It's very normal and very good. I'm not even going to worry about it. I've got to drive up here anyway. We're heading up to field 17, which, what am I actually caught on? There you go, there's me telling you it doesn't matter, like I've got the header on. It was the mini-map that caused the accident. There's plenty of room to avoid the traffic. Anyway, we're heading up to field 17, just to the southwest of the flashing symbol on the mini-map, which is where the sell point at the ranch is. So yeah, it's just very close. Quite a nice little bit of the map to look at. We'll have a look. This map has some nice little locations. Doing the contracts gets you around the map. Let's get rid of that mini-map. Very nice in here. I'm loving the seat suspension. Can be a little bit bouncy off-roading a tractor, but I do like it. Lots of detail in here. I don't even know what half these displays do. Right, past the big cow. Mini map back on for you. This is the back of the animal dealers. The actual dialogue box, the buy sell point, is on the road running parallel. Yeah, so if you like to be a completist, use the header trailer, but as you can see, I've not really found any way you're going to get into trouble. We do need to cut across the train track at some stage, I believe. We might even see the train. So he's on his way around the map. This place right here acts as kind of a transfer station, so we could be harvesting crops up on these fields, put them into this silo here, then empty them into the train and use the train to transport them around the map. The train has various carriages for crops. Oh look, we got a red light, we got a red light, the barriers are down, how exciting. Where's the train? Oh, there we go, we didn't get much warning, did we? Not even a honk on his horn. Fantastic. Oh, you see, now that's, yeah, just something that brings the map to life a little bit. And we are now up here at field 17. Just kind of a bit of a dog leg on it. Now there's not much money in this mission anyway, so I'm going to go right ahead and do this harvesting manually. I've got the time on a ×5 speed at the moment. I've turned the crop growth up to normal, so the crop is ready this afternoon. As I've mentioned earlier, do check that because it seems to start on slow. So unfold the harvester. Turn on the harvester. And there you can go, because I wasn't quite on the field, it was saying no, you can't use this machinery here. So I'm going to get on and do this. Once this is full, I need to bring a wagon. It could be mine, it could be the one I've got with the least items over here. The ranch sell point is just up there, so not far to go, and when we go up there to make a drop off, we'll have a little tour. Over in the distance you can see the lighthouse. I've managed to climb to the top of that. You can get some interesting shots. Also got the skeleton of a whale over there. Again, we shall have a explore when the game takes us that way. I shall be back with you. What a lovely view. We're actually looking down onto fields 25, 26, 24, 19, which is on new farmer mode, where the starter farm is set up for you. We brought the Fent and Owl trailer up here to empty the Massey harvester. It really doesn't make any difference. We could have used a nice big Massey that we were given with the lease items, but there is a reason a method in my madness. Now I could set the harvester off now with a worker just while I'm doing this, but there's not really any need to. But while we are up here, we're gonna just explore a couple of the very nicely done map features up here. Now over in this corner, again I'm trying to let you keep a track of us on the map. We'll get out here, turn the engine off. This is the Spanish mission. It's not marked on the map with a name, but it is an objective, one of the drop-off contracts. You need to bring some materials up here. It's obviously had a hard time. Is this, maybe they filmed a remake of the Alamo up here and they're just putting things back together? I'm not sure. There is hidden away in here. You need to use the ladders to get up on this roof and then down into this courtyard. There's a wonderful, lovely statue. Maybe sometimes it's a fountain of a dolphin. Very nice in here. And the only way to get back out is up this ladder. Anyway, so this is the Spanish mission. Looks like somebody's coming through the wall. Definitely being some kind of siege operation. Back in our tractor, start out engine, and we'll head back over to the ranch. Not sure what this building is here. Sorry the sound cut there. That's the El Gato being a little bit silly. Have a little look down here. The render range I'm really not sure about. Look guys, if I'm in the tractor, that's a blank piece of ground, and I had to remembered where it actually is. Look, it's a nice place to bring your pony for a bit of jumping around fun, just like so. And also there seems to be a bit of a trail marked around with some of these flags. We'll see more when we're up at the sell point. So yeah, it's a nice little bit of the map here for your horses. You can buy this area of land. I don't know, it doesn't seem to give you access. I mean, there's some nice big buildings here. I have bought the land and tried. You can't open the doors. So quite what the point of buying some of the parcels of land on the maps is, I'm not sure. You can buy most of town, and it's very cheap because it's no value to you for agriculture of any type. Might be some trees on it, but I guess if you got into the realms of collecting rents off of everybody, and then you'd end up playing a landlord simulator. Right, so we need to come up this track here, and this Fendt, the 500 with 150 horsepower, certainly for the kind of loads that we're going to be hauling at this stage of the game, is more than sufficient. Right, and we'll get a little message up in the top right hand corner telling us how much we've completed the contract in terms of dropping stuff off when we are done. There we go, so we've done 59% already. So I'll get the harvester back going, finish off the rest of that field. I'll get back to you when the field is complete and show you what it is I'm going to try to do to get more out of this contract than just the money. Right, we're bringing the Fendt over to the harvester to empty it again. It's not full and it hasn't actually finished on the field, as you can see. Right, we'll get this unloading. If you look on the contract screen, it says it's actually 92% done. Now, I'm not sure quite whether that relates to the field there. If you recall, when we dumped the last grain, it said we were 56% done. What I'm doing is exploring the leeway from the produce from the field to the completion of the contract. And I know there is one, so I'm going to take this over and sell this, not sell it, deliver it, and just see how close we are then to completing the mission in terms of dropping it off, because basically we're going to get some soybean out of this one way or the other, and that's going to go towards the pigs. And this technique is going to be most useful, there isn't one available, on a sugar beet or potato contract, because they're the most expensive things for you to grow and harvest for your pigs, especially early game. The equipment to harvest them is quite expensive, and if you can avoid the cost and still get that extra 5% productivity for your pigs, then why not do it? Right, I'm not even going to empty this. I'm going to just leave 1700 in there. 87%. We must be getting close with the rest of this load then. 96. 98. There you go. Right, the contract on field 17 is finished. Perfect. Turn on the harvester. The rest of this soy is ours. So then we will complete the mission. And if you do this on every field you would do a contract on, don't just do everything, dump it in. If you do have, say I'd done this whole field, filled that dump trailer up and just taken it all to, oh, there goes the train again. I do like it. I didn't finish telling you about it. Basically, it's got the two wagons behind the engine to put grains and crops in. We've got a timber one, we've got another covered trailer, and then a flatbed one with fastening straps. There you go. So it can be quite versatile. I'm not sure if we're really going to need it. Okay, we've made it back to the pigs with 500 litres of soy, and we got $2,100 for completing the mission. Now, by my calculations, that should be enough for 20 pigs for about a day. If we look in the, it looks like less than that on there, but we'll see. Troughs hold 10 days worth now, so do bear that in mind. Now we have one more task I want to do in this episode. We're just going to leave the trailer here for now because we don't need him. We're going to pootle back up to the shop and grab a fertilizer spreader, and we're going to get at least one fertilizer run on our field of wheat. That's going to increase the yield by 25%. We're going to need the fertilizer later on today anyway, when we turn the fields over. Now I've turned their growth speed up to a sensible one, and in the next episode we'll look at the fields in detail, the new way of dealing with the needs of them, that is spreading lime, ploughing after some crops, and fertilizing twice now instead of 3 times. So we'll go into the shop, into the tools, fertilizer technology. Now this came out as a mod. It's from Giants. It's the old Kverland Exacta, which we are all, I'm sure, if you've played 17, very familiar with, because it was the fertilizer you got as a starter piece of equipment on just about every map. And then we need to buy 1 pallet of fertilizer. Now I'm quite happily going to just fill the spreader here. Oh, once I remember which side of it I need to be on to pick it up. Now in terms of equipment, we still need to get our hands on a fertilizer, a seeder, and some form of cultivator or plough. But we shall come back and look at that. There we are, and we shall refill him. And we'll leave that pallet there. It might come in handy for fertilizer missions. I'm sure we've got more than enough in here to do this one field right now. So, see how long it takes me to stop getting lost, shall we? So I'm quite excited to get going on this farm. The map does have its own little character. There are some wonderful areas down ahead of us there at the end of the street. There's some kind of disused mill. Looks like something out of the set of 7 or one of those old sort of 70s movies that always ended in that disused plant. Right. Oh, I've just had a thought. Did any of you already have the thought? We're just going to leave that there for a moment. I need care tyres. Yes, I do. Otherwise I'm going to cause damage to my crop. Silly me. Let's do that again, shall we? Okay, so we're back up at the shop. We're going to pull into the marked area. This is where you'd sell equipment as well, directly back to the shop. But we're here for customization. So we want... Oh, I'll get the hang of this eventually. There you go. We want... I love the preview that you can see what things do. We want narrow tyres. So customize. So that's $1,000 for the tyres. But as I say, we're not paying $1,000 on top as a charge for doing the customization. Right, we are now ready to go. We'll zoom out a little just so we can see the width, which is about here from memory. A little bit further over, that'll do me, and I'm just going to sit here and do this. Right, I'm going to finish doing this. I'll be back in the next episode and we shall get on with harvesting these fields, getting the pigs up to as close to 100% productivity as we can. It kind of depends on what missions become available. We may do a root crop harvesting mission and then cream off a little for our lovely swine. So thank you very much for watching. Leave any comments you'd like to make. Leave us a like if you've liked and enjoyed it, and subscribe if you'd like to stay in touch, and do click that notification bell if you want to be made aware of when we've posted some new stuff. So we'll take care. We'll see you soon, and for now, bye bye.